SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Come see your locally owned and operated Linton Glass for all your glass needs. No matter what glass you need to replace, you can count on Linton Glass. Call us today at 601-835-4336 or find us on the web at lintonglass.com.
And now, Sports.
Get ready, sports fans. It's time for Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5 and streaming worldwide on the SuperTalk Mississippi app and on your Amazon Alexa devices. Chasing Foul Balls, your weekly source for all the sports news and interviews important to Southwest Mississippi. Chasing Foul Balls is presented by First Bank. And now, here's your host, Robbie Hamilton.
Well, good Friday morning and welcome to Chasing Foul Balls right here on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5. Glad to be with you again. Guests this morning, we got a good show lined up. Kevin Griffin will join us. Coach Kevin Griffin, the head coach of the Bellhaven Lady Blazers softball team. It just so happens to also be the dad of one Mr. Connor Griffin, the Pittsburgh Pirates phenom. And also joining us will be Jack Edmonson, the head baseball coach at Southwest Mississippi Community College. So a lot to talk about with those two. In the studios with me this morning, the old fart crew is back. To my right, the professor, Mr. Neil Randall. How are you? So glad to have you back, by the way.
Well, I'm glad to be back in town and be around such august individuals as you and Richard.
Did she let you come back and be with us?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Made sure I left.
Told you to leave, probably. Yeah. To my left, TP himself, straight from the farm, Mr. Richard Hay. How are you, sir?
Just fine, Robbie.
How the cow business?
Oh, it's good. Good. Everything's got a lot of green grass, and cows look good.
Oh, man.
Everybody's happy right now.
I tell you what.
We do need some rain, though. We need some rain.
Can't beat it. Get the ag report, the weather report, and sports all at one time.
I'm telling you, I used to get that from A. Marks, but now I get it from Richard.
Really?
My buddy.
Let's go to work. First thing, an announcement I got confirmed yesterday. I don't know if y'all know about it, but there will be D1 softball coming to Southwest Mississippi Community College on October the 10th. Coach Glenn Moore is going to bring his Baylor Lady Bears to Southwest to take on the USM Lady Golden Eagles. That'll probably be an afternoon game. Not all the announcement ready to go, but talked to Dr. Bishop yesterday. It is confirmed. D1 softball coming to Southwest. Baylor taking on USM on October the 10th.
Oh, that's really big. I'm really glad to hear that. And Glenn got a lot of fans and a lot of family around here, and you better come early or get your tickets early.
And USM got a lot of Pioneer faithful as far as playing there, and will be playing there next year. So that'll make it pretty interesting there, Richard.
Oh, yeah, and we got a local girl on the Baylor Bears. I mean, so if the families just show up from over around Liberty, it'll be a packed house. So as you said, get there early. And
I understand they're doing some work at the softball stadium. They're going to, as soon as the season's over, go to work. They'll replace the press box, and they'll put the stands like they did at the baseball stadium all the way to the dugouts, and they'll build up a little bit there. So that'll be some good work. It'll be a good time to get the work done with this game coming to town.
Yeah, my neighbor informed me a couple of weeks ago that they were thinking about after the storm had come through fixing everything, and he was on a pretty good winning streak as Coach Shea Johnson. He said, no, don't fix it right now.
Wait till the season's over with. One thing, y'all both, I reckon, what's the word, old-fashioned baseball aficionados?
That's pretty close.
Is that pretty close?
Yeah, he's a lot older-fashioned than I am.
Okay. Leggings. Don't point in the middle. It's not here. Leggings. You may have saw it on the Chasing Foul Balls Facebook page. Which are you going for nowadays? You got the long pants that covers all the way down to the top of the shoe. That's one. Then you got the old style leggings. That's kind of the stirrups that they're wearing, and wearing the pants a little higher. And 3, they got the stockings that they wear now, the solid colored stockings that they'll wear the pants either down lower or up to the knee. And the 4th one, they wear the socks, where they wear those pants down to just above the ankle, but you can see the socks above the pants, below the pants. Now, which is the way it should be with the old farts to say this is the way we should wear leggings? Mr. Hey, I'll let you go first if you had that look about you.
Well, Robbie, I guess we grew up in that era. You know, we had the stirrups. Some people wore them high up around their knees. Some wore them about mid-calf. That's a traditional baseball look that I like to see. As they moved and kind of let the pants get a little longer, it was okay. Until they came out, and I'll just pick on one player because he's the one I remember. When Manny Ramirez started wearing the pajama pants, it just looked like, you know. But if I could hit like he was, I wouldn't have cared what he was wearing, you know. So, but yeah, I like the traditional stirrup more than I like the other displays of attire that we see now.
Mr. Randall, what are you on?
Well, you know, I'm a Cardinal fan, although it's kind of difficult in the last few years. I remember when the Cardinals acquired George Hendrick back in the 80s. George had his pants down to his shoes, and that was very unusual. But and things change, you know, as years go by. But I'm with Richard. I'm more with the traditional. I mean, I remember Robbie when he had those green and white socks on Kendall Motors.
That's right.
You know, but
we had the stirrups now.
That's all we ever had. Yeah.
Well, those were handed down from year to year, so it's according to how many holes in it, which direction you turned it. You know, if the holes were in the back, you made sure they were on the back of the stocking.
Well, speaking of holes, I will remember.
I'm afraid when you start speaking of holes.
I do remember one year at a manager's meeting, the president of the league, Aaron McComb, was asking coaches how many new uniforms they needed. And, Joe Russian said 2, and Red Womack 3, and Chick Haffey 4. And Warren Shank had showed up, the late Warren Shank.
The Warren Shank.
And he didn't have any business there, but he was a member of the Exchange Club. He said, Mr. President, it's not going to hurt these kids to wear uniforms with patches on them. and Charles Ruff said, well, Warren, when you start patching the patches, it's time to get a new one. Anyway.
I said, my favorite, that's how I knew when I played Dixie baseball in Macomb who the good players were.
Yeah.
The good players were the guys who had all the letters on the front of their shirt.
Mm-hmm. Hadn't worn off.
Yeah. So as you moved up in better categories, you had more letters on your shirt. The starters had just about all their letters on their shirt.
That means you had all of yours.
Every once in a while. And then the back, the lower end, as they started going down, started missing a few letters. You just had, if you had the E, it just had the outline of the E on the jerseys. That's how you know where. Always somebody come to the plate, and I said, ooh, this guy can hit. He got all his letters. So we figured it out that way. Speaking of baseball, guys, I tell you what, 1 week will change the world, won't it? Last week we talked about Mississippi State and Southern Miss being at the head of the class, and Ole Miss had to win some games before they would be considered for a region. They sweep on the weekend. They beat Southern Miss during the week. Now all of a sudden, Ole Miss is all the talk. They're the hot team in Mississippi.
Well, Robbie, one thing about Ole Miss from the start of the season, we knew they would hit and score runs. Hunter Elliott's been the kind of the staple, as we knew that he would. But when Townsend got hurt, and they just went through a stretch right there, and for a while they couldn't score.
But they hadn't been able to hit.
And that's right. They couldn't hit and couldn't be able to score because the pitching was giving them an opportunity. They couldn't get the key hit. Like with Mississippi State, they couldn't get a key hit. All of a sudden, Townsend comes back in the last 6-7 games. When you look at where they, rankings are rankings, and it sometimes baffles my mind when you look at how some people can still be ranked where they are as well as they're playing, especially in the conference. But yeah, it's completely flipped in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, it's kind of what have you done for me lately, and in the SEC every week is a super regional, and I think Ole Miss is playing about as well as they can. I got to believe Mississippi State's going to turn it around with all the talent they have brought in.
Well, that's kind of not. We've been pitching it well. All of a sudden, we can't get a key hit when it matters. And I think against Georgia, they figured out, okay, they can't hit this pitch, and we're going to keep throwing it until and guess what? We just kept swinging, and we're missing it.
Kept whiffing.
And guess what Tennessee did? They came in and did the same thing.
Baseball is strange, and I'll tell you what, go from week to week. Yep. When you talk about 1 week, all this is the way it is. A week later, all of a sudden, everything has changed. Which leads me to the next part of college I want to talk about. I brought this up a couple, 3 weeks ago, and now it's been brought back up in the Atlanta Constitution, a big article there. I called it "My Math Ain't Mathing Anymore." I was trying to figure out how were the teams going to continue to spend this $40 million every year on players over the course of all the sports. Yet, could this continue? Is there a way to keep this level going? And then the Constitution had an article, they called it donor fatigue. They say this is the 3rd year of NIL. It's still hot right now. But what happens when somebody goes a little colder? Will the donors continue to give the money? And can the donors continue to afford to give the money for NIL at the level they're doing it now? Your thoughts, Neil?
I don't know how they do it to begin with. I'm not in that financial bracket. I have no idea how people can give millions of dollars for something like that. They're in a bracket way above me, it's beyond my comprehension.
Well, Neil, I would agree with you to some extent. The fact that I think the high level donors, they're going to make the splash when somebody gives, makes a big donation to a university of $3 or $4 million, whatever. It's the guys from the other 75, 60, 75% that donate the 1,000, the 2,000, along the way. As Robbie says, I don't know how you sustain that over a long period of time, because you go through a bad year or two, and all those smaller ones say, I'm going to go do something else this weekend. And next thing you know, it just becomes a snowball rolling downhill. You can't get it stopped. And at the high level, the big ones will always be big. I just think it's going to be more of a separation in the middle, and it's going to be dictated by not being able to spend enough money to get the better players.
Well, and it also has something to do with the colleges that are in the state with the most population and the most alumni and the most well-heeled alumni.
Josh Hubbard wins the trophy for the 3rd year in a row, the Howell Trophy. 3 years in a row he won it. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is, Robbie, when you think about it. We've got some pretty good basketball players, but in the state, Josh stands out because he's the man at Mississippi State. I mean, I've watched enough games this year, and defense has figured it out too. And you don't let him just have the ball and freely shoot. And but I guess that's what they chose.
Well, he's very deserving.
Oh, very.
No argument about him.
Richard, I want to give you a final stat. Mississippi State has won 8 of the last 9 Howell trophies.
Really?
That's a pretty good number.
Yeah, it is.
8 of the last 9. Quote of the day. The last thing we'll do before we go to our first guest of the day, Beth Serino, the softball coach at LSU. They were talking to her last night that the fact that the Ole Miss LSU game, softball games, in Baton Rouge this weekend. The first time that Ole Miss has played LSU in any sport since the great hiring of a football coach. So they asked her what she thought about that. And she said, well, if that's the case, we may need to invite our football coach to come out and welcome all the Ole Miss fans to Tiger Stadium. Ouch. Ouch. What do you say, Richard?
Can I buy a ticket for that?
They're available. They're available.
I would probably just want to be a spectator if that was to occur.
I wouldn't be surprised if he don't show up now. It's just the way he is, the things he will do. And after she started it yesterday, him finish it sometime over the weekend wouldn't surprise me, him being there as we speak of Coach Lane Kiffin.
It'd probably be a sellout anyway, but that would guarantee there'd be running over the sides.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. It gets better. Oh, by the way, since I said that, where did I got the number at? Let me find it real quick. Of course, I can't read my writing, which is sometimes a bad thing to do. Oh, cheapest ticket for the Ole Miss LSU football game right now. Want to guess?
I'd probably say $1,000.
No, lower than that. The cheapest ticket.
Oh, cheapest. Okay. I'm sorry.
The highest is well above $1,000. Yeah. Cheapest ticket.
$250.
All right.
$500.
$370 is the cheapest ticket to get in the Ole Miss LSU football game.
That eliminates me.
Me too. I'm way out.
Definitely eliminates me. Yeah.
Well, coming up, Coach Edmonson will be with us. We'll talk some Southwest baseball right after this. You listen to Chasing Foul Balls. It's right here on SuperTalk 93.5. Well, welcome back. Chasing Foul Balls Friday morning here in Southwest Mississippi. Glad to have you along with us. Joining us in the studio, Coach Jack Edmonson, the head baseball coach of the Southwest Bears. Coming up a little bit later over the phone, we'll have join us Kevin Griffin, the head softball coach at Bellhaven, and the dad of Connor Griffin, the new Pittsburgh Pirate phenom. But things first, let's talk Southwest baseball with Coach Edmonson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, guys. I appreciate y'all having me on this morning.
Oh, got a lot to talk about. First of all, you picked up your 100th win. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's what they tell me. I didn't really know that was coming. But I guess that's pretty cool, and my team made a big deal about it, and I appreciate that. But you know, I think most coaches, they worry about 101 and 102 and and all that.
It keeps going, don't it?
It does. The next one's the most important one.
Well, this year, 26-18, 10-10 in the conference. That's a good record for the Southwest Bears, improving every year.
It is, and that's something that we're extremely proud of. We've had a good year. We played a really tough schedule, even non-conference, and that makes that record more impressive. And I'm the first to tell people all the time that I could care less about our record. I care about us winning, and that's why we pack the schedule like we do in the non-conference. But you know, that's credit to our team and our players for being able to fight through all that and be able to put together a winning record, even with the tough schedule that we've played. So proud of them for that.
A big weekend tomorrow, a big day tomorrow at Southwest Community College. You have the ribbon cutting of Alumni Stadium at 1:45, plus you're inviting back all the alumni of the baseball program.
We are, and that's, you know, I wanted the stadium to be named Alumni Stadium. I know how hard players work. I know how hard the former players, current players, just the blood and the sweat and all that stuff that they put into it, the money that they put into it. I just want that to reflect that by the name, and I felt like Alumni Stadium was the best way to do that. And we want all the alumni to come out. Even the community that's not alumni baseball players, we want them to come out too. But we want to recognize all those alumni that have put in all the work to go into that, to the beautiful stadium that we have, and just recognize them and spend a day honoring them with that.
Home in town tomorrow for a doubleheader. Coach Biggs back?
Yep, Coach Biggs is back, and Connor McHenry. Connor McHenry played for me here for 2 years. A couple years ago, he's the pitching coach at Kahoma too. So those two guys specifically, they'll be geared up for the Bears. So it should be interesting.
Count on that, can't you?
You can count on that. Yep.
Plus, you have the Coca-Cola Challenge coming up on Wednesday, the Southwest Colin matchup, the doubleheader. You won the first game that you played in that challenge. Now it's a doubleheader and counts in the standings coming up on Wednesday, starting at 3 and 6. That ought to be a big day at Alumni Stadium.
That should be a really big day. Just the Coca-Cola Challenge, that all that goes into that, plus the conference standings. I think they're one game up on us right now in conference. Both of our teams are really good. I respect the heck out of those guys up there and what they're doing too. They've got a good club. We've got a good club. We're a lot alike. We both have some really good starting pitching. It should be a pretty even match. We did win the first game, and hopefully we can win these next two also. So that'll put us in a really good position for playoffs and our seeding there if we do that.
Coach Edmonson, I guess first off I'd say first off, I wish I could be there tomorrow, but I'm going to be watching a granddaughter play softball, and I hate that. But I also would speak for my two sons that are both alumni of this program, and what it meant for them and their future careers and where they are now. And I hope that everybody that comes through here and comes back tomorrow experiences it, because to have something like we have right here,
yep.
It means a lot to our community, and we thank you for that. And I guess, the thing I've been following the team along, it's amazing. And some days you beat somebody by beating them by 10 runs, and the next time you beat them 4-3. And, the up and downs of how you never know which is going to show up.
You don't. And it's our league, you play double headers. Yeah. And it is crazy. I've got a really good friend of mine. His son plays at East Central, and he texted me early in the season. He said, "Man, you wouldn't believe this. We beat the team by 20 the first game, and then we beat them 2-1 the second game." And I said, "Brother, you better hold on, because that's going to happen." It happens in our league, and that's we've done that a few times. And I tell our team after every time, credit to you guys. You just got smoked, or you got beat 4-3 in the first game, and you still have to play another game in 30 minutes that matters. And it's you can't let one loss cost you a whole day. And that's what's so hard about these doubleheaders, but it just makes you tough.
When you're in a game like I don't want to say a blowout game, but a game where you're in the middle of the 6th or 7th inning and you got a sizable lead, but you got to play another one. Mm-hmm. How much do you go to the thought process about who you use out of the bullpen and when you use them, knowing you got to play a game, and the game that you're ahead in might all of a sudden get tight itself?
It is, and that's the hardest part. That's in a game. If you see me over there just looking out in the sky, that's what I'm thinking about. Most of the time, it's how to manage the pitching in a game that you're up big or down big in, because you're never out of the game unless you think you're out of the game. Right. And especially us, the way our team's built right now, we've got arms. We can throw good arms out there all the time, and it's a fine balance between when do I skip the 4, 5, and 6 arm and throw the 7 arm, or do I? East Central the other day was a perfect example for us, because I think we were leading 3-2 at one point, and then it jumped up to 11-3, and then it's 11-7. So it's like, man, what do we do here? And we kind of threw a middle arm out there, 2 middle arms out there. And, of course, we look like a dummy. We walk 2, and then we get 2 double play balls back to back, and we don't throw either one of them. So the pitch and the defense went together in that inning. But we ended up giving up a 9 spot and an 8 spot. And then it's still, we still were able to run some good arms out there to hold them after that. But it's, how to do the pitching in a doubleheader is the hardest thing in the world to do in our league, because you we had Rice and Caraway going game 2 that we felt like he's probably going to throw 5 or 6 innings. But what if he doesn't? Because he's had a growing that's been aggravating him a little bit. And sure enough, Rice, and I think through 3 innings. So it was a good thing that we did have some arms on the back end of game 2 that we were able to roll out there and keep the game really close. And we got beat 5-2 in that second one, which is a close game, especially with the wind blowing out like it was. So that managing that pitching in the doubleheader is a tough. That's the toughest thing I can do, no doubt.
Bears have been very good at Alumni Stadium this year. 18-7 at home. That's a great record for a home.
It is, and that just speaks to the pride that we have with the facility that we're playing in. I believe and how our team is built to play in that stadium. It's big, and we pitch, we play defense, and we run, and that's a good combination for our field.
You run to the tune of, 135 stolen bases this year? Something
like that. And I think we stole 206 last year, but we've had a hamstring injury that's kind of kept us out. And another guy, Tanner Moore, he stole over 30, I think, this year. He fouled a ball off his foot about 3 weeks ago, and he's still hobbling around out there. So that slowed us down a little bit. And it's, honestly, people are game planning against us now. I've had coaches tell us we spent the last 2 days at practice figuring out how to keep y'all from stealing bases the whole time. So, that's part of what we do, and we play to our field that we play in most of the time. So, that helps us in most days when we get to play at home. And 6 out of these last 8 games are at home for us. So we're looking forward to that.
You have Oklahoma in the doubleheaders on Saturday. You travel to Northeast during the week, and then you got Delta at home. Plus, you got the Cole-In doubleheader at home.
Yep.
So, some pretty good matchups up there. With the stadium, the new look scoreboard. Tell me your thoughts about the scoreboard. I think it's a great addition,
Yep.
and it really should give some pride to the players.
It does, 100%. The players, they get to see themselves up there when they're walking to the plate or when they're on the mound, and they do enjoy that. It just creates a better experience for everybody. It creates a better experience for our players because they see their stuff up there. It creates a better experience for the fans because there's always something grabbing their attention that whether it's the what they see on it, what they hear on it. Every time we steal a base, there's a little road runner that runs across the screen with a McQuaig Security logo on it, and stuff like that gets your attention, and it kind of wakes everybody up in moments that may not normally do that. So that the video board and the scoreboard, the scoreboard we talked about last time on here does have the mile per hour on there, so it tells you about how fast our guys are throwing. We're still working out the kinks of getting it aimed just right. But I know the other day it was about 3 or 4 miles an hour down, and our pitchers knew what it actually was, but the other team didn't, so we just let it be down.
It's called home field advantage.
It is. It's called. Yeah, we call it what we want to, but I wasn't walking to the press box to change it, so it looked like our guys knew they were throwing harder than it said, and the other team didn't, and we may have happened to won both of those games against 2 really good pitchers that probably felt like they didn't have their best stuff that day. So we fixed it after the game, though.
Coach, one of my favorite college baseball coaches, Ron Polk, made the statement one time in an interview. He said, "I don't need everybody in the lineup hot at one time. I just need 2 or 3." So who's the guys that are right now that are as hot as a firecracker?
Tanner Moore is the first one that comes to mind. He's our best player. He hits in our leadoff spot. He plays right field or center field for us. I think he's hitting right at 350 with 30-something stolen bases. He's a really good player. He's the first one that comes to mind. Justin Damiano hits in our 3-hole. He's hitting above 300. He's steady Eddie. He never has a bad day, and sometimes he has really good days. So he's a guy that kind of anchors our lineup in the 3-hole. Robbie Hamilton came back from an ankle injury. He's doing a good job for us. He's a difference maker behind the plate, even if he's not driving in runs.
But what a catcher's supposed to do.
Absolutely. So, and he's a really good one. So we're glad to have him back. We missed him for a while. And if you look back at it, most of our losses this year came when he was out. So he is a big time difference maker. But he's back mostly healthy and doing a good job for us in the lineup too. He's drove in several runs. So those are the three guys that every day we pretty much know what they're going to be, and they've done a good job.
Well, who's your biggest surprise then?
I would probably say that Drew Swan is probably our biggest surprise, and part of that is because he came in at Christmas, and we knew he's a good player. We didn't know how quick he was going to transition into a difference maker for us, but he's had some big hits, and he's drove in some big runs. He's hit anywhere from 3, 4, 5 for us, depending on the day. But he's been a consistent piece for us in the lineup that we didn't really know what to expect because he transferred at Christmas and we didn't get to see him all fall, but he came in and he hadn't really missed a beat.
You told me the local guy's going to get a start tomorrow?
Yeah, Dom's going to start. Dom Smith's going to start game 2. Don't tell Kahoma that yet because they probably don't know that's coming.
I'll call him.
But we've
he
Dom,
might be listening.
He might be. You're right.
Noah Diggs probably is.
Yeah. So Dom's been doing really good. This hadn't happened like this in a while. But Matt Smith, that's my brother-in-law. Matt Newman from Brookhaven Academy, he's been starting for us all year. He's been doing really well. And then now Dom's fixing to go into that starter role for us too. So we'll have 2 local guys that are starting conference games for us. Luke Simmons is another local guy that's going to throw. He's probably going to be the first guy out of the pen tomorrow in that first game. So when you come watch us play, you see several local guys from 30 minutes.
They are the 2 softball powerhouses in our conference that are in the national tournament year in and year out. So those are the 2 big ones.
Well, you played the tournament for the conference. I found that pretty amazing in Oxford, Alabama at Chocolaco Park.
Right.
Now, how in the world do you find a place called Chocolaco Park?
I have no idea, but it's a beautiful facility. It's one that the teams in our conference wanted a neutral site. In years past, it was the number 1 seed that hosted, and of course, we like that if we're the number 1 seed, but we found this location, I suggested it, and I think it's going to be a great venue for us. They host the D2 World Series every other year there.
Let's move on to the son, Connor Griffin. How was the opening day for Connor Griffin in Pittsburgh for Dad? Who was more nervous, Dad or Connor?
I don't know. I think Connor had said he couldn't really feel his feet walking to the plate that first at bat. I've watched him play in some big events over the years, and as a coach, I guess I've kind of realized big moments, and, even if it doesn't work out, you always get the next opportunity. But that particular night, I was as nervous as I've ever been in my life watching my kids play a sport. So it was a great night. And to get a double in that first major league at bat was pretty special.
Well, seeing the TV cover the family up in the stands, it looked like it was an exciting group.
It was. We had about 25 friends and family in the suite that night, and then another 25 or 30 from Jackson just made the trip up there to support Connor. And it was really neat to see the outpouring of love that people showed here and driving all the way up there to support him.
Coach Griffin, first off, congratulations on the season and also with Connor getting called up. From the time that happened, when it was all getting ready to happen, my first thought is how comfortable was Dad knowing that there was a guy in the clubhouse already that got traded to Pittsburgh and Jake Mangum that was going to be there as to be somewhat of a mentor for somebody that was a teammate from the same area, the same school. How did that give you any kind of take a deep breath and okay, it's going to be okay because he's got somebody he can look up to?
Yeah, absolutely. And Connor and Jake didn't really know each other that well because Jake's 10 years older than Connor. But they did work out at the same facility in the off season, and Connor was able to pick Jake's brain a little bit about the big league level going into spring training this year. So to have a guy like that in the clubhouse with familiarity for Connor, it's huge. And, I will say also that a lot of these big league guys went down to spring training a couple of weeks early just to be there for Connor and be a mentor to him and help show him the ropes. And that was pretty impressive that guys who had been big league veterans for many years decided to go down and do that for a kid. That was very, very much appreciative.
Coach Griffin, this is Neil Randall. Let me just say to you, congratulations on all of the things that Robbie and Richard have talked about. But to me, you have established a softball dynasty at Bellhaven. You've been to the finals of the World Series. You go deep into the playoffs every year. And you've just done an outstanding job at Bellhaven, and I just want to say congratulations and wish you the very best of luck as you complete this your 16th season.
Well, I appreciate that. We don't have the success that we've had without really good players and players coming into this program and buying into the way that we want to do things. We finished second in the country 3 times, third once, and fifth once in the first 15 years, and you don't do that without great players buying into what you want to do.
And you got to have a pretty darn good coach and coaching staff. So I'll say it, I know you won't.
Yeah, I really appreciate my assistants over the years. Courtney Fairley, who is one of my assistants, she has been with me for 14 of my 15 years, 2 as a player, and then the rest of the time as my top assistant. And then Kennedy Caruth, who was an All-American 3 times at Bellhaven, she stayed on and is now my pitching coach in year 2. So it's always good to have people that you're familiar with to help you run your program.
You have a podcast at Bellhaven, On Deck with Bellhaven Softball. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's something that our sports information director, Kenneth Nash, decided he wanted to start a year ago. And we've done some stuff like this over the years, but nothing to where we sat down every single week and talked about Bellhaven softball. And I think it's really good for recruiting. It's something we can send out to players that we're recruiting so they can know more about our program. And so I appreciate Kenneth stepping up and leading the way on that, and it's been good for our program.
You're on the road this week. When do you get back to play at Bellhaven?
Well, we go to Maryville, Tennessee. We're leaving at noon today, and we play a doubleheader with them tomorrow, big conference series. And we get back, and we're home next Friday and Saturday. Both days start at 12 o'clock, and Saturday will be senior day. But that'll be the last 2 regular season home series, and then we start the conference tournament that following week.
And then regional, how you in just regionals and super regionals?
Yes, sir. We will play our conference tournament, and then I feel good. We'll get an at-large bid if we don't win our conference tournament, which we're going to go try to win that and get an automatic bid. But if we don't, we'll get an at-large bid to the tournament, and that'll be, I think, May 15th, I believe, is the regional. And then after that, the super regional. So we're hoping to be able to host that regional this year.
One final Connor question before we let you go. You played shortstop at Jackson Prep, but all his travel ball, and most of the time I saw him in other places, he was playing center field. How did he end up playing shortstop at the majors?
Well, I think they saw something in him at shortstop in his few years playing it at Jackson Prep, and you're right, he never played shortstop a single inning in travel ball growing up until he got to the high school level. So they saw his athleticism, his range. He's real long. He can cover the hole, and he's got a great arm across the infield. And it's just something that stuck with him. He ended up being the minor league Gold Glove shortstop of the year last year in all of minor league baseball. And the Pirates have really bought into him being the shortstop of the future there. So we appreciate that. He had a little miscue yesterday, but he'll live and learn from that. He tried to hold on to the ball and stop a throw, and the ball slipped out of his hand, and 3 runs scored. But, those are learning moments, and he'll learn from that. And I've never seen him make the same mistake twice in all of his baseball career. So maybe that'll be the last time that happens.
Speaking with Coach Kevin Griffin, I tell you, I'm a Braves fan. Have been for I don't know how many years, but I got a second team now, and that's the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I got that MLB package so I can watch them. So I'm getting to watch them every day, and I enjoy watching the Pirates play.
Well, I appreciate that, and we're huge Braves fans as well. Connor grew up loving the Braves, and we're a Pirate family now, and this is the first time in probably my whole life that I haven't sat down and watched a Braves game because the Pirates are always playing at the same time. So you got to support the family, but I still pull for the Braves.
You got to support the money, don't you?
Well, I guess so. The Pirates were the team that took a chance on him, and we appreciate them for that.
Coach, we appreciate you joining us today, and hope you'll come back with us sometime.
Absolutely, anytime.
Coach Kevin Griffin with Bellhaven Softball joined us this morning on Chasing Foul Balls. Guys, another week gone. I got a special song I want to get to, so let's try it now.
Still shine, black and gold stand the test of time. Every pitch, every swing, every play echoes louder from right field way. Beyond the wall, the faithful stand, heart and soul of the Golden Eagles band, where cheers don't stop and belief runs deep. The roost awakens the fire to compete. More than fans in the summer heat, it's the sound of pride that lifts the team's heartbeat. Calling them strong, where Southern Miss pride carries on. Every run scored, hear that bell ring loud. Gay. Every home run, train horn shakes the crowd. Nice. Through every inning, voices boost. The power lives in the right field roost. Through every season, tried and true, the roost lifts Southern Miss through. Whoa! With gloves and dreams in hand, watching heroes take their stand. Traditions passed from year to year, growing louder with every cheer. Spot 18 ringing clear and true, Billy Jack's spirit shining through. Every moment the players feel energy only the Roost can reveal. Oh, the Roost keeps calling them strong, with Southern Miss pride carries on.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.